We're going to use Paint to draw a variable layout. So if we go into Blackboard, go into Course Documents, go down here, there's a file called Variable Drawing Link. Click on there, and in here there is a file called vero.gif. If you open that up, right click, copy that image, and what we're going to do is we're going to open Paint. We're going to put that image in Paint, paste it in there, and we're going to use this image as just our background, and we're going to draw on top of it. So we're creating a new image. Before you start doing a variable layout, what you've got to do is, the first really important step is you've got to get your schematic and you've got to convert it. So what you've got to do, you've got to do a rough sketch of your variable layout on a piece of paper, and then we do this drawing from that rough sketch. If you try and draw it straight on here, you'll be doing a lot of hard work, because Paint is very hard to edit on. So if you do your rough sketch first, it gives you some direction and a bit of a rough layout. So on this picture, there's also all these components all ready to go. So that part of the picture, so what we do is we cut and paste them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a few of these components using the select tool up here, select it, copy it, and then paste it up here into the picture, and then I place it where I want it. I'm going to put that one there. That one there. Once we've done that, to get rid of this white background, we click on there. That toggles between the white and the grey background. So that's how we place the components, but what's better still is if you place your leg in first. I just increase the size of the thickness of the wire there, and then drag your component and put it on top. That's an easier way of doing it. Okay, being Paint, we can't click on this and edit. Once it's there, it's there. So to edit something, the trick is to grab another piece of this, right click it, copy it, paste it, and then slide it over the top. I've made this one quite big enough. There we go. Toggle it, disappears underneath it, and if I paste again, so I didn't make it big enough, I can just put another piece below. Done. So that's how we edit it. We just cover it back up and we can start again. I've got a rough drawing in front of me, so I'm going to start laying out some components. But before that, what I do is I'll get all my wires in place first, because it's just a little bit easier. I'm going to put one there, and things like our diodes and our resistors, we want to span quite a few tracks, because in reality they are quite long items, so we don't generally go across 2 or 3. We want to be across 3 or 4 maximum. Okay, I've finished putting all my legs and my components in. The other thing we can do is we can get the paintbrush here and put a dot there. We can just put a dot on there. Just makes it a little bit neater. And we can go through and do that. That's all done. I can start putting my components on. So I use my select tool, grab the component I want to use. Let's do that again. Grab that. Copy, paste, and slide them into where I want it, and then toggle the background. Paste another one, paste another one, there's all my diodes done. I'll grab a resistor now. I'll do my resistors. I'll copy that and paste. I've got a resistor going in over here. Do my capacitor, copy, paste, big capacitor there, and a smaller one. I'll grab a smaller one here, copy, paste. This circuit uses a regulator. I don't have a symbol for that, but I can just grab any of these symbols, and as long as I label it, we know what it is, we can put it in there. So I'll just put this regulator here. It's a 3-legged one, so I'll put it across 3 terminals and toggle the background on. There we go. I'll grab my paintbrush and I'll just put my 3 terminals in. 2, 3, so we can see where it's connected. This circuit has a couple of just wire links, so we'll put them in. One of them goes down to the bottom of this diode here. And there's another wire link over here bringing back this resistor up to the bottom terminal. There's going to be 4 wires hanging off here, so I can put them in. There's a couple of AC inputs going off there. Actually, I might just do that freehand. So I'll grab my pencil for that, and I'll draw them in. One there. And actually, I don't like that. I'll use a paintbrush to do that because I'll get a thicker line. I'll pick that one there. Stand out more. One wire. I'll change this to a different color wire. Change the color. 2 wires. And I'll put some wires off the back here. We're going to get a positive wire coming off up here. And a negative wire comes off down here. Down on the bottom rail. Now we've got our components and wires, and the last thing we want to do is show our track fills, and then we can do some labeling. So to do that, we'll grab our pencil, and we've got to block off the tracks we want to fill. So we'll block this track here, and we'll block it here, and we'll go through, we'll block all our tracks. Once we have our blocks in, what we do is we grab this inkwell, which is a fill tool, and we pick a color down here, and it's best to pick a light color, so maybe this color over here, and we'll fill the tracks in, and we can go through and we can fill it in between our blocks, which dams the ink running out the end. I fill my track in, so now we can use our text box up here, which has got the A in it, and we can start labeling. We put our text box there, and then we just type away. And that's going to be just a positive output. Positive. I'll change my text color back to black. That's better. And once we do that, we toggle that back on there. So I'm going to go through and label it all now. That's all labeled, but so that's all looking pretty good. But the last thing we want to do to really tidy it up is to select the whole thing, everything we want in our drawing. Right click, copy, file, open a new. Sorry, I'll do that again. File, you save changes. No. And then we edit, paste the new one in, and there's all finished completely without all the extraneous stuff around it that you don't need. We could then import this as we could copy the whole picture and import it as into a Word document or place it somewhere else. Just to recap on a couple of things, and there's a couple of things down here we can use. We could use that. If we put that there, click on that. Right, that represents a cut in the track. So we know to cut the track there, and what I should have done was not filled the track up to that point. So what we would do is we would select it, copy it, paste it, put it where we want it, and fill the track up to either side. We've got some terminals here, we could use those, but more importantly, it's all our components. Notice always run vertically. Try and give yourself a lot of space, don't try and keep them too tight. This one here, the legs are right next to each other, so we've got no choice. But what we can do is if we had to put a resistor between these two, we can drop down to here and then come back up here. Like we've done here, we've taken this diode down here, used a piece of track and taken it back up here. So in effect the diode just goes between those two tracks. But we've got a bit of room there, so spread it out.